Hey, what's going on, man? So,
What's
yeah,
happening? What's happening? How's it going, brother?
all right, man. Another Monday, after it's been a fantastic couple of weeks, man. A lot of stuff going on, man. Oh my goodness, So
Amazing how
listen,
the
man.
world moves
You
so
got the
fast.
say what?
I said it's amazing how fast the world moves.
Oh man, everything's in play. I tell you what, the thing that I was talking to my kids. I said, regardless of what you like or what kind of your political philosophy is now, you can't deny that everything's in motion. Everything's in play. America's in play. The world's in play. Shit's coming home, man. I mean, there's so much stuff going on, and it's only because we got a dude, man, who wants to change the world a little bit. So he's gonna make mistakes along the way, but man, it's gonna be a really interesting 4 years, I think. What's going on, Lit? Curtis is in the house too. Lit's in the house. Uh, so you got the message I got from BMU. I said you saw the email, right? I mean, we still got enough time to jab it up, I guess. Gift the gab. So what do you think about the current events, just in general?
I think that keep on okay, yeah, I'll just look at it. I think that man, look, everything is happening so fast, and I think that letting the emotions of all of what's happening, it makes you vulnerable to be missing a whole lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just
Okay.
being mad and focusing solely on one thing because you're emotional about it, you're missing a lot of other things happening.
Okay, but such as
Okay,
you got an example?
so an example being there are a lot of people that are emotionally fueled behind the deportation situation, right?
Yes,
Now,
yes.
because they're so riled up about that, now you're missing what's going on in Iran and Israel. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know the last time anybody's talked about Traore back in Africa and what he got going on, trying to get his gold reserves back. Then you got the big beautiful bill about to go into play. Like it's so much happening that
Oh, it's
once you
in
start
play
getting
right now.
emotional, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, once you start getting emotional, you missing a lot. You missing the big
Well,
picture.
well, how about if all of that's in your head? Like, because what you just said, right? I'm looking at it all. That's what's part of the whole dynamic. The big beautiful bill, the fact that people are acting a fool because Trump is trying to deport people that they didn't even talk about when Obama was. Obama deported 5.3 million people over his 8 years. I
And
didn't
that
see
may be
all
my
that.
thing.
I didn't see all the protests. I mean, it was a bipartisan thing. Both the Democrats and the Republicans routinely deport people, but it's only an issue now, because people hate Trump. It's as simple as that. I just boil it down to that because it's not like it was a Democrat or a Republican thing, until Biden, of course, who was letting all these people in, man. People were just, because actually people don't realize he let all these people in to replace black people in terms of voting. And so we miss. So that's the thing I think we're missing. But you're right. There's a lot of people who are so focused on certain things that bother them. They're not listening. They're not looking. Because let me tell you, like I
Yeah.
said before, if you're in this country out of compliance, you are subject to deportation. It doesn't matter whether you're a great person, a bad person, a abuela, or a tio, or whatever, or just somebody it's just the way it is. And it's a shame, and it is heart wrenching because you got ties. But the law is the law. The law is the law, and they're not going to get everybody anyway. I mean, what's going on, Trey?
Nah, ain't
So
no way for you to get everybody.
exactly. So the way I have this kind of set up, right? The way we talked about it, peace through strength. We'll hit a little bit about the stock market without trying to tell people what to do, and then back to what the Supreme Court has been really, really active, and their things are. But their recent rulings are going to be life changing for America. The way they're from a national level, and so it should be interesting talking about that. But the first thing is if we talk about what Trump is doing from the peace standpoint, and think about all the wars. Okay, the first one up on tap is Russia and Ukraine. Now, he made a campaign that he thought he could stop that day one. Well, listen, they have so much death invested in that war that there's just no way they could walk away saying it's over. You know that Russian death toll went over 1 million people just last week?
That's crazy.
1 million. It's not being covered. It's not being covered from the standpoint of the death toll. The Ukrainians can't be that far behind. 1 million people. So this ain't like some kind of skirmish where we lobbing bombs and just hitting facilities. They're coming right after the civilians and everything. 1 million people. And Putin doesn't give a shit, man. He doesn't care. And neither does.
Remind me if I'm wrong, but when Biden was in the office, the sentiment was for us to get involved with Ukraine and Russia. Am I wrong in that?
Well, the sentiment was that we're involved through proxy. We're giving them the weapons and the money they need. And that money went to Zelensky and the weapons went to his army and whatever it is, whatever the weapons. And we were strategic on what weapons we gave them. But the point really is, we don't know where all the money. I mean, I bet you Zelensky got a few $1 billion stashed away somewhere. So when this is over, he can go off in the sunset and just be chill. When we give away money, you see what's going on with Doge. We don't track that shit. What's this going, man? It's out there. Man, I can tell you, remember the Iraq war? They sent $7 billion to Iraq and then it got lost. Nobody knew where it was. Nobody ever found the $7 billion. So we funded. That was our. We fought Russia through Ukraine.
$7 billion.
That's $7 billion. Shit.
Damn, I know how I feel when I lose $10. You telling me these motherfuckers lost $7 billion?
Yeah, I remember that vividly, man. When that war started. Hey, listen, the DOJ just found a $15 billion scheme of Medicare fraud by the Russians and people abroad. They just had a big press conference about it today.
31 points in the S&P is crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, so listen, that was it. The second thing, right? So that he has the proxies of both countries talking to each other, and he hopes to get that done. But that one is still they're still fighting each other, right? So they got him talking, but Russia, Ukraine still rages on. India and Pakistan. He stopped India and Pakistan from escalating their fight over Kashmir. They have that. Nobody's talking about that, but they just lobbed some bombs at each other, and they were getting ready to go at it. Now these are two nuclear powers as well, and of course they're cousins. I'm a Hindu and you're a Muslim, but but by blood we could trace it back to the same lineage, and so we're going to kill each other over a piece of land that they've been fighting over for I guess almost 50 years. Kashmir with a K. And so Trump said, listen, man, him and Modi talk. He said, y'all can't be doing this shit, man. I'm trying to have peace around the world, blah, blah, blah. He said, you want to trade with us? You can't go to war over some bullshit, man. Go shake hands and, just keep that shit on the down low. And they stopped fighting. Now, it might not have been just for Trump, but they stopped fighting. They're not fighting right now. Then, of course, it's the 12-day war that just ended, right, with Israel and Iran. We bombed the shit out of them, which I was against. I didn't want us to even get involved at all. But it turns out that strategic bombing and a couple of, let me say, face by lobbing some shit at you in Qatar and all of that stuff, right now is a tenuous ceasefire, but it's a ceasefire nonetheless. Right? It's a tenuous ceasefire, but they ain't killing each other right now. So that's another thing he's done. And there's another one. Serbia and Kosovo. Serbia and Kosovo were getting ready to go to war because Serbia is mad that Kosovo declared themselves an independent state. Right? Now, that was from the way back when Clinton saved folks from annihilation. So they split up Herzegovina or some shit like that. So Kosovo and Serbia were getting ready to have a war. Trump stopped that shit. You know, he was involved in that. Nobody's really talking about that, but that was on the list too. And I got the last one. We're going to spend some time on this last one because it has to do with Africa, right? A month ago, I did a live on my channel a month ago with Rubio over in Africa, sitting down between the DRC and Rwanda. Where's that shit at? Okay. Let me put this up. Right. I went over there and he was sitting down between the two parties and they were drafting a framework for peace. Now, of course, we got our interests over there because I think it's the DRC has a reserve of cobalt. They have a lot of minerals over there. You know, and the deal that we're trying to make is instead of just letting the Chinese exploit the rest of them, America says, listen, we could be a partner, keep you some peace over there, and maybe find a way that everybody or your people can benefit. So these people are in the White House now. And they just had a big press conference. I was going to go over a little bit of that press conference. That's why I left this one for last. So, well, again, you know, so this instead, I remember when Obama and what's the fucking guy's name? Biden. But the only thing they wanted to do in Africa was turn them into gays. The only thing they want to exploit, they wanted them to make it an alphabet community shit, or else we're not going to trade with you. I mean, that
was one of the biggest things that our current administration wanted to point out when Doge popped up. Like, yo, y'all know they sending this money over there for this bullshit, right?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, what's going on, beautifully animated? How you doing? It's been a long time. You know, so yeah. So, you know, so we're going over there trying to make some deals. Now, listen, nobody wants to. Here's my thing. It's not whether I like Trump or not. It really doesn't have anything to do with me because either you're doing some good shit that will benefit the country or you're not. Right. And when people started touting that Biden shit, I still can't get past the crime bill. Now, I can't even get past the fact that he had Anita Hill in the well assaulting her, right? With his, because he was the Senate leader when she was up against Clarence Thomas.
I think that so again, like taking that emotional part of it out, right? Whether you like Trump or you don't like Trump, I do think that it's important to understand that this is his last term.
Exactly.
Once he's done, he's out of the way. And whether you like it or not, he has changed the standard of what we expect of presidents moving forward.
I would hope so.
And again, whether you like him or you dislike him, you would have to at least agree that you would need whoever is president after this to be able to move in a certain way. This man moves with a certain level of, I don't give a fuck that I want to see in whoever we vote for president next, whether it be Kamala, whether it be Vance, or whoever I don't care. We can vote Jasmine Crockett. We can vote Jasmine Crockett for all our fuck.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
I do hear what you're saying, but
there's an expectation once you get there.
You know what? I hear you, but I'm not. I hear what you're saying, but I'm not so sure that that's true. You know what I'm saying? Because when I say it depends on who it is, because the Dems and the liberals get back in power, they're going to erase all of this shit. All of it. We'll be back to where we were before. There'll be millions of people at the border. They're going to call all of those troops back. They're going to stop building the wall, and they're going to flood our cities with illegal. That's their plan. That is their plan. All of this shit will be over because most of his executive orders, if they're not codified in law, they could just be swept away with a pen, and that's what would happen. So anyway, I just wanted to go through a little bit about this press conference. I know we got a few minutes, but this is the Rwanda representative and the DRC representative, and then at the end, before this is over, they got a sister that comes up, and I want everybody to listen to her.
setting records with the economy and a lot of other good things happening. But this is about Congo and Rwanda. And I'd like to ask, if I might, would you say a few words before we introduce our guests, please?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes.
So, under your leadership, Mr. President, and the full support of Secretary Rubio and the entire team at the State Department, we engaged with the two parties in early April. And within 3 weeks, they signed the Declaration of Principles. And now, within about 2 months from that, we have signed today the final, this is actually the final peace agreement. You know, many people were wondering if this is preliminary. No, this is the actual final peace agreement that they've signed today. You've also expressed interest in inviting the heads of states to the White House for a signing ceremony. So there will be some other additional agreements that will be signed. In addition to this, which will become known as the Washington Accord with regards to the Great Lakes region.
That's great.
There are some
Why
economic...
not the Trump Accord? I'm only kidding. It'll be head- No, I think that's a great name, Washington Accord. Beautiful.
And there's an economic aspect as well that is extremely important for both countries. They have also worked, last week we finalized the regional economic integration framework, which both countries will be signing at the White House here during that ceremony. And
That's going to be a great ceremony.
absolutely.
Right? We're going to make that a great ceremony and bring other people that were involved, some other people. Besides the gentleman we talked about, who we know has worked so hard. If you think there are other people that are deserving, let us know. Okay?
And there will be some bilateral agreements. We're negotiating a minerals deal with the DRC for critical minerals. Many American companies have shown interest in investing in the DRC, and this we're talking about long-term investments. Same thing with Rwanda. Many American companies have shown interest, and not only in mining, but also in the midstream and downstream, which will be the processing of minerals. We're also working and supporting the Lobito corridor, which will help building the infrastructure. Just 2 days ago, the United States signed, and supported a project of $1.5 billion for electric transmission from Angola to the DRC. And there are many other projects of that nature lined up. So we will be, under the leadership, Mr. President, will be working with the two countries very closely and with the support of Qatar to make sure that this agreement is implemented.
And a lot of our companies are in both of these countries now, especially since we've been getting along so well. It's probably the way we were brought together. And we have a lot of our big companies are there, between rare earth and all of the other things that they do in Africa, which is very greatly expanding, especially in these two countries. You have earth, they consider it to be about the best in the world, actually, I've heard. So we're doing a lot of different things, and it's all going to bring everybody together. That's how this all began, I guess. But the big thing is, the big thing for me is there's really only one thing, and that's getting a peace treaty with two countries that have been fighting for 30 years. And I want to thank you all. Will, if you could, you could bring the letters over.
Of course, sir.
We stop that there. So, your thoughts on that?
What are we gonna say now, black people? He bringing peace to Africa.
At least a piece of it. At least a piece of it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, would it like? If he's racist, if a racist person does something like this, I mean, where am I crazy at? Am I tripping right now? If he's racist, would he be doing this?
Yeah, would he even care? Now, America has interest in it, but if there's peace, there's a lot of money in that area for everybody, especially the people of both countries. A lot of people don't realize before the 30 years they've been fighting against each other, there was a genocide in Rwanda from the Hutsis and the Tutsis or whatever they call them. They were macheting each other down, right? So it's like, so that's that first part of it. The second part that I want to show is really something that where you'll see it and you'll figure out that there's probably a whole segment of people of the 92% that ain't gonna like what they see because they don't appreciate the man. So we're gonna skip right up to that and just go ahead and get this done. and we could talk about it in a second. Let me see what time stamp I need to get to. 1704. 17. All right.
Thank you very much, JD and Marco. And then we're going to ask the two principals to speak.
Yes, sir. Mr. President, first of all, thank you. When,
Oh, no,
when
let
I
me
first
go
came on this
past
job
that.
a
I'm
few
sorry.
months ago, you made it very clear.
Not here, but yeah, I want to pass him because he says a lot of the same things that we already know. This is what I'm looking for. I'm sorry. Let me bring it back to the beginning. All right.
The black one.
Happy great.
The black
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
It's a
Mr.
great honor.
Thank you, Mr. President. So as Caroline has mentioned, President, first of all, I want to let you know that I'm the only African reporter accredited here at the White House and
Wow.
cover for the entire continent. So I just arrived from Congo, Democratic Republic of the Congo,
Right.
yesterday. I went to see firsthand how the people is feeling and the president's message, President Felix Tshisekedi, about this upcoming peace deal. And let me tell you firsthand what I witnessed myself. I spoke with the people on the street. I spoke with youth. They know your name. They know that a president named President Trump is working hard to finally bring peace to the country. I saw hope. They have hope now for a better day in Congo. They see what you're doing as a future, better future for Congo. And I had opportunity to sit down with President Felix Tshisekedi for an interview because I want to understand his mind, what he's thinking, his feeling about everything that your administration is doing. And he told me firsthand that for many years, many American presidents overlooked this conflict. They didn't do nothing. Even myself, I cover President Biden's administration. I pressed many times about this conflict. People are dying in Congo. This country has so much potential, but they need help because this war is destroying the country. They never gave me any answer. And he told me, President Tshisekedi, that you have no idea, he's very thankful for what you're doing, for what your administration is doing. Not only him, the entire Congolese people. They see that finally they will have hope. And President Tshisekedi also mentioned at the end of my interview that when peace finally comes to the Democratic Republic of the Congo, he's thinking to nominate you as a Nobel Prize Peace because he said you deserve, you have been working to bring peace in the world, not only at the Congo, and he's very hopeful to meet you in the future.
That's so nice. Boy, and that's so beautifully stated. And Caroline said, number one, she did say, and I shouldn't say this because it's politically incorrect, she said, she's beautiful, and you are beautiful. I'm not allowed to say that, that could be the end of my political career, but I'll say it anyway. But you are beautiful, and you're beautiful inside. So I wish I had more reporters like you. And you covered Africa for a long time?
Yes, for over 10 years.
Wow.
I cover even your first administration.
Yes, I know that. That's great. Well, thank you. That's so nice that you said that.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And I have one more question,
Yes.
Mr. President. Since we know in July or in the future, both President of Rwanda and the Congo will be coming
Yes.
to the United States. In Africa, President João Lourenço, the president of Angola, he is also the leader of African Union.
Good.
He
Yes, I know.
worked very hard to bring peace, but unfortunately...
Let's get him here.
Yes, that's
Okay? Would you invite him for me?
Of course.
Okay? No, well, I know that he works very hard, and he's the head of essentially the union. So the union all over Africa, not the kind of union that we have. This is the union all over Africa, and I'd love to have him, so you'll let him know.
Of course,
Okay.
Mr. President.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good. Now you go back to where you belong, right? That's
So that's the end of that. Yep. Oh, was he up here? Yeah, to the stage. I don't see. Oh, let me fix this. Hold on for a second. All right, there you go. What's going on, Trey? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. What's up? How you going? How's it going, man? Yeah.
It's going great.
Yeah.
It's going amazing. I'm having the time of my life right now.
You ain't the only one, man. You ain't
As Dave Ramsey, better than I deserve. Better than I deserve.
that's what Dave Ramsey was saying? Better than you deserve?
That's what he. They asked him how's he doing. He always says better than I deserve.
That's funny.
Trump,
Anyway,
Trump wasn't lying. He wasn't lying though.
no, he wasn't. He was
lying?
not.
She's fine.
Yes,
Wasn't
yes, yeah, buddy. But
Inappropriate, sure, but he wasn't lying though.
well, he didn't take it too far. You know what I'm saying? You know. So anyway, but listen, that was the first thing I wanted to talk about. I wanted to go through his peacemaking attempts. Now, the president of Pakistan nominated him for the Nobel Peace Prize, right? Now, I would, you know, so that'll piss off a lot of people from CNN and MSDNC, of course. But
Oh man.
but the fact is that, I mean, listen, if peace works, right? The whole world's better if whatever kind of, even if it's tentative, it's better than everybody killing each other, I think. You know, and he said he was going to do that, right? He says, I must try to stop these wars, you know, and he's had some modicum of success. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if any pushback on that one, Trey?
Nope.
Young boys wild in the
As far
chat.
So what?
As far as I'm concerned, he can't do anything wrong right now. There's some things I don't agree with, sure, but he can't do anything wrong in my opinion right now. It's just he's there's a lot of boxes that he's checking, and he said he was going to do it. And some things I wasn't aware of the India and Pakistan conflict. I was aware of the Serbian Kosovo, but I was not aware of the India Pakistan conflict. So there's things that's on the list that he's the box he's checking. I didn't even know was there. Look. At the end of the day, I was having a conversation earlier today with some 80-year-old women, and they come from a different time. They were born in the 40s, right? So they come from a different time, and they still live on the premise of it's a popularity contest. They don't like him. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's where they're at with it. They don't like him. No matter how much I point out the inconsistencies or ineptitude of the Biden administration, they don't care because they liked him. You know what I mean? Or
Yes.
I could point out, you know, they were talking about immigration. I can point out how Obama deported 3 million, 5 million. They called him deporter in chief. They don't care. They liked him. They didn't care. They don't care. They liked him. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So we still have a lot of people that are going to be voting. This is why I keep saying 2028 is far more important than 2024 will ever be. Because either we continue going the correct way or we're going to revert back to 2020 to 2024.
But let me ask you this, Trey. But they gotta win the House in 2026. They gotta keep the House in 2026 and the Senate, because if they don't keep the House could do enough to derail a lot of his plans, even if they still keep the Senate, right? We'll be in gridlock for the rest of the 2 years. So that's why
of course. If that house doesn't stay red,
right,
and you get a Democratic Speaker of the House, the stuff it'll never get on the table.
It'll never get on.
Sure, it never gets table. It'll never get there. Everything he wants to do,
and he'll have to govern through
2 years.
executive order. Yep, he'll just have to govern through executive order, which you don't.
So we'll be right back to 2016 to 2020. We'll be right back where we were before.
Right. So there's, I think Lit had Lit had a super chat. Lost translation. All that beautiful bean. What's that beautiful bean footage? BMU. What's that bean footage?
They want you to play the All-Star.
My name is Rosa. They say I'm supposed to sit in the back, but I'm tired here, so I'm finna sit right closer. Come get me up then. It's gonna take about 3, 4, 5 men. And I ain't finna repeat myself again. Fight me. Somebody get her. My name is Eve. I didn't believe. I trusted Satan, ate that apple, he deceived. And I'm naked. I thought I was awakened. I'm the first to do it. Y'all my daughters, we related. Trick on Big Harry. Don't call me slave hoe. The hell? From the underground, dirt road, bust down mouth of dope. When I say run, you better go. In the dark, that Glocky glow.
Thanks, Flip.
That nationwide is on your side. That's what it said. It just said nationwide. Look, y'all don't know that commercial. Is on your side. Hey, I shout. It said nationwide is on your side. That thing got in my spirit, rock, my boy. It said nationwide is on your side. And then I changed it. You know what I said? Jesus Christ is on.
Is that thing stuck to you guys?
He's on my side.
It ain't working that well. Yeah. Well, yeah, shout out to the shout out to the bead footage. What you got to say here?
Why you up there in that pulpit playing like that?
Yeah.
What is wrong with him?
Well, the point he was trying to make after that, he says, after a while, he says, God is on your side. You know, he switches it up. He's trying to use that to say, yeah, then he says, God is on your side. Man, ministers are, man, they got to.
You know how far, it used to be that the secular music followed the church music. And now the church music is following the secular music. Now we have done a complete 180 at this point.
What can you say, man? That's just the way it is. All right, gentlemen. All right. So I did this a while ago when the second thing down here.
Did.
Right. So I said when we were at the highs, the tariffs, the uncertainty of the tariffs tanked the market on April 7th. All indices were at a new low, new 52-week low. Everybody's panicking. Some stupid fools were selling their 401k plan, and everybody in my orbit, I said, don't you touch a damn thing. Don't touch nothing, man. I said, and before the end of the month, because I showed this a couple of times when we were on the way back, I had to argue with my brother. He said, the 401ks are destroyed, blah, blah. I said, bro, man, listen. No, I said, the 401ks aren't destroyed. I said, if so many people got to retire. I said, okay, this shit will be back in a couple of months. But they don't got a couple of months. They're retiring now. I said, they can still hold their money in there till it comes back. What are you talking about? And then I stopped talking, right? Then I said, okay, man, I hear you. You hate Trump, so nothing I say is going to make sense because you want to Trump. And it turns out that the negotiating tactic of the tariffs is actually working. We got deals coming in, factories coming back, and America is not getting screwed by the same amount like it was in these trade deficits. Our trade deficit is on our way down, and nobody can really dispute that. It's all happening. So the market is saying, this is Wall Street saying, I'm a little bit comfortable now, right? I'm comfortable that even if I was skeptical of the tariffs, and now I understand what's going on, and it's just coming back. And Main Street, now, also Main Street is not as crazy as you think it is because the regular people, the gas prices are low going into the summer, the lowest they have been in 4 years. The stupid thing about eggs, the eggs are, back down. But let me show you guys something. I want to show you. I gotta illustrate this. I got a couple of illustrations. On Sunday, I cook every Sunday. Right? Not every Sunday. A lot of Sundays. Sunday meals are. I have to try to tamper it down so my wife doesn't get jealous over my culinary, efforts. I just, So this meal, this was like spicy glazed orange chicken, right, with some asparagus and some rice pilaf. That meal cost me $39 raw to do. $39 for 3 of us in the house. So that's $13 a piece, but that's three helpings. That's 3. There's 3 meals we made out of that because we didn't certainly, don't call me a fat guy. I could have ate it all myself. No, that's for 3 meals. That's for 3. So that means for $3.50 a piece, we have 3 meals, 3 dinners. You know, so I'm saying, well, where's the, you know, so it's not like I'm rich, but eating a meal for $3.50 a piece is an average salary person can do that. An average salary person, if you're frugal with how you buy stuff, of course the rice ain't expensive. The chicken, you know, it was like $3 a pound. It was cheap. It was actually cheap, and it's Purdue. You know, and the asparagus, I had better asparagus. I like the fatter ones, but that's it. So I just wanted to prove a point that you can still eat a regular meal without breaking the belt if you need to be frugal, right? In Trump's America, I guess. You know, so I just want to kind of put that there. So,
what state you in? What state is this?
I'm in New Jersey. One of the most expensive states in the union.
That's why I asked. That's why I asked, because I knew it was going to be. I wanted to make a point that it was one of the more expensive places, and you can still get it.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, listen. So he did that, right? So it's just some other things on the list. USA and world trade the balance is coming back. Gas prices are down. Inflation is stable. It's lower than it was when he took off. It was like 3% something. Now here's the kicker, right? The last thing that we're waiting for is the stupid Fed man to lower interest rates and make the cost of borrowing money cheaper like the rest of the world. But he's gonna. What are you shaking your head? Tell me what you know.
That ain't gonna happen.
Okay, but because he hates Trump, is that because? I mean, it's because he hates Trump.
Now, he has a disdain for Trump, and he's not gonna give Trump that W.
Yeah, because it won't be just a W; it'll be the championship.
See, this is, I'm telling you right now, it's shit like this. I'm telling you, it's shit like this. If this House and this Senate goes blue and they start doing everything they can to stop Trump, I'm telling you, I promise you, we are going to be revisiting the conversation about why black men are Republican. That I'm telling you right now. The majority of black men are going to be voting Republican if Democrats get control and decide that they're going to be petty and start blocking everything. Because I don't care what y'all say. I need somebody to show me a president that was as active as this man has been in a matter of 1 year with Africa. We had a whole black president, and I don't remember him brokering a peace deal in Africa. I don't remember that being the case. And if I remember correctly,
he was too busy trying to get him to be gay.
See what I'm saying? Then even after that, you get Sleepy Biden. What is it that he did to broker or do anything to help the country of Africa?
Well, he sent his emissary over there to say, if you don't turn yourselves gay, I'm not going to trade with you. He threatened Uganda. He told him, he said, we're going to take you off the list if you guys ain't butt banging.
And then they take away, and they said no. When they refused, he said, we'll take your aid away then.
Exactly. So they try to extort these guys into, something that their culture says we ain't down for. So that's how bad it got, man. Shit, man. So all I'm just saying is, listen, you said something over there, 100. If they take the House and the Senate, they're going to impeach Trump. Unless they need 60 votes in the Senate. Yeah, it won't happen.
They for certain are going to bring up the articles of impeachment. For certain,
yeah, exactly.
That's happening.
Yeah, no doubt. Even
they're going to try to put that man in prison. They want that man in prison. That's what they want.
For the second time. Oh, he OJ now? Is Trump OJ now? Is that what's about to happen?
Man, listen, man.
Which is why I keep saying to people, enjoy this time while you have it. Try to get as much money, make as much money as you can now, because there's no guarantee what's going to happen in next year. We don't know what's going to happen. We hope that everything stays red, or at least a majority red. But if it doesn't, you're going to I'm telling you, 26 to 28 is going to be a tumultuous time. in the country, and then going into 28 into the inauguration, it's going to be crazy time because we're really going to have a fight and trying to figure out which direction this country is going to go.
Well,
Because to me, it looks like they reverted back. They went back on a few things, which was to reverse what the Obama and Biden administrations had been doing, right? You know, when we talking about women and I mean men and women's sports and Title IX and all this other stuff, yada yada yada, right? They tried to correct some of this, the immigration policies. Supreme Court just ruled on birthright citizenship, which was meant for slaves. You know what I mean?
That's my next
You know what I mean? Like they're trying to fix a lot of this mess, and people can only see, well, I just don't like them.
And that's crazy. And somebody else just popped up. Let me see. Who else is? That's just yeah. But listen, I like I said, they just don't like. But that's my next segment. The next segment of this whole thing is the recent Supreme Court rulings. So let me just start from the beginning. The first one that came out was the Supreme Court granted Tennessee the right to restrict gender affirming care. No more child mutilation. You can't do that in Tennessee. However, right, since it's the Supreme Court, that all the states that are not for that, right? What's going on, BMU? All the states that are not for that, right, can also do that because it's a national policy. So let me just kind of show you what I'm talking about. And so they might try to nationalize this thing across the board. Now, of course, there are some states that are going to be the holdovers, and they're blue. So all the states in red, of course, is a no-go, right? And then the ones that are in this, like orange or whatever it is, they have policies that's restriction gender affirming care, but they could up them now that they have a Supreme Court ruling saying that if you choose to outlaw it, you got all the judicial backing you need. And of course, the green ones where all the damn liberals and black women live, they're green. So there you have it. So that's a battle coming up, but the Supreme Court already adjudicated it, and we could probably get that mess out of the country, regardless of who's president. As best
that whole corner over there.
So what?
I didn't realize
come on, you know about the Northeast. The Northeast is liberal,
hey,
right?
man, I didn't know that whole corner was moving like that.
Oh, they're moving like that. Yeah, for sure.
The whole Northeast from Maryland up, liberal.
Yeah,
liberal.
Yeah, yes, sir.
I have a gift. I have a gift for you, Arvin.
What's the gift, man?
I'm gonna show it to you real quick. I found something from back in 2008.
Okay.
That I think you should see. Well, go ahead and finish talking. I'll let you know.
No, I'm finished this. So I'm gonna take this down right. I'll take this down.
Yeah, no, go ahead and finish talking because it's still loading.
All right. So listen. So that's the first thing that Tennessee won, but there's more, right? There is more. Of course, in Montgomery County, Maryland, they ruled that Planned Parenthood can't sue because they're no longer getting federal funds, right? So right now, Planned Parenthood, because they perform, deletions, they can't use taxpayer money to do that anymore, and that's going to spread across the country as well. So this is at the Supreme Court, no stinking ass district judge or none of that. This is at the top level, 6-3. You can't sue, and anybody who wants to use Planned PPP for an abortion has to do it on a class action level, district by district by district, and that's just not going to happen, right? It's just not. They a few might, but it's pretty much gone. So Planned Parenthood have to come up with other funds to continue. Well, they're going to have to do what they do without government funds, and that might spread across the country itself, which I don't mind. So. Well, why don't we do this?
You ready?
Yeah, go ahead. What you got?
Okay, this is from 2008. I want to play this. I know this would be good for you and Trey and 100 Watts to watch somebody who sounds like this.
one is wild. This
What is
is
it?
Hillary Clinton in like 2008, and Hillary Clinton saying some wild MAGA type shit.
Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked. They're gone. If
She's a Republican.
they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes, and you have to try to learn English. And you have to wait in line.
You have to wait in line. You have to wait in line. It's
You
all
couldn't believe
a
that.
fucking
It is.
illusion.
There you go. I mean, none of this shit is
Democrats,
new,
Democrats, they've been playing with you.
Yeah,
They've been
exactly.
playing with you.
Exactly.
They have been toying with you for decades.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
hey,
it's-
BMU, when you get a chance, see if you can find the Nancy Pelosi speech she gave on the Hill about tariffs back in the 90s. She's saying the same exact thing that
Same
Trump's
shit.
saying today.
Same
actually
ideology. Same
And she
thing.
actually looked like a woman back then.
I would rather if they would be mad at Trump.
Toying with us.
I would feel better if they were mad at Trump for stealing bars. If they said he was out here stealing jokes, then I would understand, because he's saying the same exact shit they've been saying. When we was last week when we was talking about Iran and Israel, the same shit that he was talking about is everything that all of our previous presidents ran their campaign.
I have a video. Oh, you about to get okay. I'm at home right now. I have a
Go
video
ahead.
of that. I have a video of her saying, what happens if Iran don't do this? She said, don't. Now this is your vice president.
Mhm.
Don't.
Oh yeah,
don't.
I saw that.
Biden said, don't. And then Trump said, we're gonna blow this. We're gonna bomb the shit out of them. Same thing.
Yeah, it's all a game, and the media has lost all credibility. They just don't, whether they ever were truth tellers at all. But whatever truth teller they used to do, they're certainly not doing it now. They play favorites, so they might as well be state sponsored or state taken over because they refuse to tell the truth. Yeah, they had Obama they had Obama when he was deporting 5 million people. They had him saying the same shit to Trump.
How do you get the name deporter in chief?
Yeah, because that's what he was doing. All right, so
And
here's the
again, this is why 2026, 2028 are so important, because what games are they going to play? We know y'all agenda. We know exactly what y'all going to do. This is why you have so many black men, like 100 Watts is saying, are leaving and saying, nah, screw this, man. Something's not right about this. And we've been bamboozled, hoodwinked, led astray, run amok. We've been played. We've been hustled.
Come on, Malcolm.
We've been hustled.
I'm gonna be taking bets. Y'all. I'm setting the line at 3.5. I'm putting the DNC having 3.5 rappers at the DNC for the next election. Okay, so anybody that thinks it's gonna be 3 or less, we can bet on that. If you think it's gonna be 4 or more, we can bet. I'm setting the betting line right now.
You know what I would love for Trump to do on the way out of office or midway through his second year? I want him to say breaking news: Trump pardons R. Kelly.
No, he's got to. Why are you going to do that? Why? Why would he do that? He's not a goddamn R. Kelly.
Hold up. He pardoned that boy that was frauding all them people. The TV show. What's that guy's name?
Yeah, I know you're talking about
Christie's or something.
Yeah, Christie. He's not good.
Yeah.
R-Pain. Let me tell you something.
He pardoned him.
If R. Kelly get out of jail, he can sell out the Staples Center in 10 minutes.
10. He gonna crash the network, BMU. He gonna crash the network.
I mean, it'd
The
be
moment
nice.
he
but
announces a tour,
give me a motivation for him to do that, though.
Because they didn't get him, because they got him for racketeering. You know, R. Kelly wasn't smart enough to run no fucking trafficking empire. Stop it. Come
That's
on.
true.
And Diddy gonna be? What, didn't I say Diddy was gonna walk out the front door? Diddy finna walk out the front door.
He's not gonna walk.
Did you hear the jurors? Did you hear the jury? The jury
No,
just
some
came
new
back and
information.
just
Tell
told-
me.
Yeah, the jury just came back and told the judge that we can't follow the instructions. The instructions they were given about how they decide And the judge said, well, just follow the law. That man finna walk out the front door.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Okay, so we can segue a little bit into that, right?
Now, Trey, hold on. I'll probably say this and let you cook. Trey, you know what'd be crazy? If he pardoned R. Kelly and they have the baby oil tour for R. Kelly and Diddy, they'll sell out. Sell out. Trey, sell out. Sell out.
The baby oil urine tour 26. I might go, bro. I might go, bro.
I'm going, man. I'm going.
You guys are tripping, man. You know what I'm saying? But listen, I thought the case was in trouble when all they talked about was the explicit sex. I said he's not on trial for. I mean, all those people were like consenting adults, right? I mean, where's the crime? I was saying, where's the goddamn crime? Well, okay, the sawed-off shit on the guns, maybe that. The drugs that had a false label on it. But I said, where's this big racketeering? It's oh, it's only one jury. That's all they need is one jury.
She doesn't understand the system.
One jury. All you need is one.
All you need is one jury. You need one jury.
All you need is one.
She doesn't get that. That's why we used to have a saying: we'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. Because the guarantee is that I just need to get one of you to disagree. That's all.
Do you think this worked? Do y'all think this worked in Diddy's favor with it not being on TV the way a lot of these trials have been?
No, I don't think it one way or the other. Oh, you put up another one? Oh, I'm sorry.
They've already taken away the instructions from RICO. That's dead. That's dead. Yeah. They've already pulled a lot of the instructions from RICO. They've already pulled most of it. So I'm not sure where she's getting this information from.
Well, Trey, when Diddy walk out that front door, we ain't gonna see a NISA for 6 months.
Yeah, they're gonna get him on.
I'm telling you, bro, he's walking. They're gonna get him on something, but it's gonna be time served, and it's gonna be probation.
That's what I was gonna say. There's nothing that's left that's gonna put him away for life. There's nothing that's left to go put him away. There's nothing's left. RICO, stop.
Not going to prison for RICO.
Hey, she want him in jail. She want him in jail so bad, but I ain't seen a NISA one time get on here talk about all the stuff Cassie playing and all the people she brought in and paid and threatened to kill people and take their life and have people take them out and all type of this stuff. You don't hear none of that. You ain't hear about all these free calls she having without Diddy. Diddy out of the country. She calling him, texting him, baby, is it okay if I hire 2 men to come over and beat my bam back out? You know what I'm saying? We'll hear NISA talking about none of that.
Or how about Cassie telling people she'll kill you? I'll kill you.
Yeah, she threatening people's lives.
She's recorded on record saying that.
But guess what, Trey? Well, Diddy forced her to do it. Even if he was out of town, he was in Dubai and she was in California. He forced her to do it from 3,000 miles away.
So if he walk out the front door, what's the conversation about the justice system at that point then?
I love it. Hell. Because let me tell you why. You ain't putting all these other people in jail. You ain't putting nobody else in jail.
That's not why. It's because the system worked. They don't have no goddamn fucking trial. The trial was weak. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if he walks, the system work. I mean, I've heard a lot of the trials, and where's the goddamn crime?
He's cooking, and guess what? It's a lawyer on YouTube that broke down the case just today.
Yeah.
Bro, when I tell you he broke that shit down, he said they have nothing. He said if the defense loses this, they should all be disbarred. He said they have nothing. Nothing.
All right.
That's it. All they proved is that man is a freak. That's all they proved.
A demon,
which is not illegal.
Which is not illegal.
Right.
And Cass is a whore.
No doubt. And everybody.
Yeah, that's it.
Listen, if they didn't show him beating her up and down the hall, it wouldn't even have been that strong of a case, right? Because they first of all, he's not on trial for that, but it impacts, they're trying to make that impact whether she was a willing participant or not, even though that's not part of the trial. But that
she was a volunteer.
Yeah.
She was a volunteer, and she wasn't trying to get away. Let me tell you something about domestic violence victims when they're trying to get away. They don't pack a bag.
Yeah, I want to ask Anissa a question. Anissa, so if I could pull up a video right now for our pain with a black female lawyer who has been at the courthouse every day watching the trial. If I pull a black female lawyer up right now on this video, and she tells you what I just told you about her sitting in the damn courthouse every day, and she tells you that they have nothing, would you believe it? Would you believe it?
No, she's not going to believe it.
Would she believe it?
No, she's not going to believe it, man. Come on. Well, you know, she's not going to believe that shit. Well, anyway.
But here's the thing, BME. It's not just that one woman that's sitting in the courtroom. There's several law aficionados, former attorneys, current attorneys that have been watching this closely and all have been saying the same thing. They haven't proven a case. People don't understand. This has to be beyond a reasonable doubt. They have created so much doubt. Cassie created doubt on her own.
Oh,
when she was on the stand, she created doubt.
Right. Yeah.
On her own. It's got to be beyond.
Well, now it's on trial.
Now it's what?
Now you see what Anissa just said. Oh, I'm sorry, but who is on trial? So what? When he walk out that door, I swear to God, I'm gonna call you. Oh my, I can't wait.
That's so funny, man. You
No. Have her come on the show. Give her the full screen and say I was wrong. That'll hurt her more than anything. Say I was wrong.
Well, keep in mind, Trey, it's the same person that told us, well, y'all don't know Kamala Harris. She just raised almost $1 billion in 30 days.
And spent it all and didn't win.
And didn't win.
Y'all think everybody's showing up to his release party?
Well, I think
I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there.
Count the age before it hatches, man. They're going to get him on something. He got a hangnail or some shit, man. You know, he's going
to be guilty of something.
Yeah.
But it won't be enough to put him in prison for the rest of his life.
Oh hell no! That's just going. Matter of fact, like you said, it might not even be enough to justify any more time served.
Young Thug was on trial for RICO. Had bodies on him.
Bodies.
Did he walk out the front door or not?
Yeah,
bodies. He walked out the front. He took a plea. He walked out the front door. Last I checked, he just had a concert a couple of days ago, I believe. I saw it on Instagram. He had a concert a few days ago. He walking out that front door, bro. I promise you.
Now she back to shaming tactics there. Why are you rooting for it? Yeah.
They're not my role model.
Yeah, they're not my role model either, but I do feel like this. If you're going to put R. Kelly in jail and you're going to put Diddy in jail, then dig up Hugh Hefner, dig up Elvis, put them in handcuffs and throw them in jail. And who was the other guy that Sweet Caroline, what's his name? Who sings that shit?
Don't forget about Woody Allen. Woody Allen married his stepdaughter. She was like 18.
He raised her though from a kid. He raised her from 6 years old to 18 and married her. He adopted her and married her.
I don't know a better definition of grooming. I don't know a better definition of grooming than what Woody Allen did.
No, yeah, and pedophilia, the whole 9 yards. But anyway, listen, gentlemen, I got one. Here's a big kahuna I want to get to, and the big kahuna is the
pause.
Yeah, well, it's no pause.
Super pause.
The big kahuna, the big fucking kahuna, man. The end of the district judges no longer can, use nationwide bans. There's a lot of implications of that with the 14th Amendment and everything else. But even besides the 14th Amendment, but let's just talk about a district judges no longer can use the nationwide injunctions because that was the Supreme Court's job in the first place. So there was two ways the legislators could have took that power away from the district judges, but they didn't do it. Was the Supreme Court did in that 6-3 decision. But birthright citizenship is still on the table. And they got 30 days. The clock has started. And in 30 days, if you're in the wrong state and your kid, you don't drop the kid in 30 days, you ain't a citizen. If you're in the wrong state. That's going to be
and I love every bit of it because that is a gross expansion of what that law was meant for. It wasn't meant for y'all. It was meant for our ancestors.
But let's read it. But read it. The 14th Amendment stated that persons born or naturalized in the U.S., right, and subject to the jurisdiction are citizens, right? It didn't really say blacks, but it was meant for the slaves, of course, right? And but that's part and parcel of the Constitution, because you could drive a truck through a lot of parts of the Constitution. Since they didn't say black specifically, there was a case in 1898. My man Pak, right, is a Wong Pak, a Chinese motherfucker. He challenged that he was born here, even though his parents weren't citizens, and he wanted citizenship. He won the case, and that's what started this whole thing in 1898. So that started this whole poll that they could interpret it. Now listen, I was against this executive order, but I mean, I'm kind of ambivalent one way or the other. But check this out. But that's how the Constitution worked. When the white boys, right, wrote the Constitution for the United States, when they wrote it for making this a place for white people. Oh man, come on, man, this got me.
Dear Heavenly Father, amen and amen. Oh, my Lord.
The fact that you took the time to write that out. Something wrong with you.
Yeah, damn, man. You know what? Over here, man. Goddamn, man.
Come on, you are paying trying to be.
Hell with that.
Man.
Too bad there ain't no bounties. How come they don't have no bounties on this channel? That's why we need some bounties and shit, man. I mean, that's all right. It's cool. But the point really is, the only point I was going to make, but this is, like I said, this is the big kahuna that just happened recently. And the fact is that the Constitution makes itself lend to these kind of things because the Constitution itself was written for white people. When they wrote the Constitution, right, everything was for white people. But it was written such a way, that you could drive a truck to it. That's why we all are benefited from the Constitution, because they didn't specifically say white people.
Ooh, they didn't
specifically. Nowhere in there it says specifically that this Constitution was just for white people, and that's why all of us can benefit from that. And I don't think it was on purpose. It might have just been divine intervention. We know they had race in the Constitution because we were 3/5 of a man. They said that shit specifically. Your Negroes are only 3/5 of a man. So it wasn't like black, they weren't thinking about color. They just assumed that they wouldn't have that many different people in this country. They would just be white fucking people and they wouldn't have to worry about it. But they didn't change it. So the 14th Amendment is kind of like that. But here's the big kicker. Once again, we get something for ourselves, and every motherfucking body's riding the black people's backs. Every immigrant here now is riding our backs. They've been riding our backs for a long time. This was for us, and they usurped it. The rest of the country usurped it. And they want us to protest for them now with the immigration shit. They want us to go out there and protest for them. Fuck out of here. We ain't doing that. We got the alphabet mafia. We got white women on our back. We got everybody. You want to be gay? Get a black woman in a bullhorn so she can champion your fucking, your proclivity. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. So anyway, I don't know how do you guys stand on birthright citizenship?
I think that this is opening the door for a rewrite of the Declaration of Independence, and it is about to get ugly.
Why would it rewrite the Declaration? Yeah, you think it would rewrite the
because the way that these people work, and by these people I'm referring to these motherfuckers in the government. Once you open up a door to a slippery slope, they all willing to jump down, not even slide. They're gonna jump down that slippery slope. So once you decide that you're gonna open up the door just to change or amend the amendment about naturalization, then now we're gonna start going into the Second Amendment. Then we're gonna have to start clarifying the First Amendment. Then we're gonna have to go into the 21st Amendment. Like, see, now they just start playing games and start trying to change shit, and it's about to get real.
They're not gonna change the words, though. They're not gonna change the words in the 14th Amendment. They're not.
That's what you would think. That's what you would think.
I'm telling you, they're not going to change the words. They're saying the Supreme Court still hasn't ruled on it, but it's going to be an interpretation of the words that's there. It's not going to change the words. That's my take on it. I mean, you might be right.
I just don't have faith in them enough to have enough control to not do some bullshit.
They're not gonna. Yeah, I'd be really surprised they try to change the words. I mean, how about you guys? Maybe I should. I'm gonna exempt BMU from this because his mind is somewhere else. And shit. Trey, what do you think about
it? Love everything about it. Can't wait to see these people get kicked out of this country.
Okay.
Don't bother me one bit. You want to know why it don't bother me? Because when all this stuff was going down, they really let the cat out the bag. They really told us why they was really here, why they come to this country, and how they exploit the American system for their own good. See, they did it to themselves. I'm not mad at them at all. So you better drop that baby real quick because you're running out of time. You're running out of time.
They're doing C-section or some shit, man.
You better ask for an inducement. You better go to that doctor and ask for an inducement and say, hey, can we do this now while I have it? Because at the end of the day, you snitched on yourself. Old girl that was doing a little TikTok, she snitched on y'all. I told y'all, but Mexico was better. Take your ass back to Mexico then. Well, right on the head. I done been to Mexico twice. It ain't that nice. Okay? Going back to Mexico.
Well, that ruling opened up everything that the district judges stopped. It opened up like birthright citizenship is going to be on the table, and then sanctuary city funding that was stopped by injunction. So that's gone. They could start refusing money. They could start deporting people to countries that don't belong to them. I mean, like they didn't from. They could just like a third party country. They could do that now. Right, it ends that temporary protection status for 550,000 people. That's Haitians, Venezuelans, all those guys.
That's fucked up. You just drop a Mexican in the middle of Jamaica. That's fucked up.
Take it to it. All that shit's on the table, man. You know, so there you go.
Trey, she said you get him, Trey.
She's so delusional. She met a billionaire once, and now she thinks she knows. Oh, I know him. Now.
Yeah.
I know. Goofy ass that they got invited to an all-white party. You know, Diddy had all-white parties.
That's right. Yeah, you better get out of there when you see the first man.
Yeah, maybe you know something we don't know.
That's right.
The owner, Jeff Bezos, married a groupie, and so
Who's
did Bill Gates.
She's talking about
Bezos.
Yeah,
and let's be very clear. He married a whore.
That's right.
He married a whore.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's be very clear about it.
Right.
He married Tony Gonzalez's leftovers. Is what he married.
Yep.
Okay.
And
so if you want to hang your hat on that, and you want to talk about you going to the party to be a whore, you snitching on yourself, sweetheart. Because that's a horrible example.
You know what he spent?
Hold on, Trey. You mean to tell me
what?
That this woman who she was with, the tight end, you talking about the tight end?
Tony Gonzalez.
So Tony Gonzalez ex that is not famous or anything, in her 50s, the same age as Anissa, and she got a billionaire before Anissa did.
And this ain't got no swag. She ain't got no riz, no aura. She got nothing.
Well, she could get him drunk. She could get him drunk on that wine. She could spike the wine.
Anissa, I know you didn't let that whore get a billionaire before you did.
That's so fucked up.
She said she around a billionaire. She said she know Robert Smith. She said she knows the prominent black billionaire, Robert Smith.
Show me some pictures.
So why you ain't getting married in a $50 million wedding in Venice then? You don't know him. You don't know nothing about him. But you go into that all-white freak off though, down in his Austin home, that all-white freak. Oh, I'm excited.
She walking into eyes wide shut.
They call her Anissa the Twister.
God dang it. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's just funny. Yeah, listen, I'm done anyway. You know, we we covered the whole fucking topic, shit.
The show's off the rails now, R-Pain. You might as well just let it go.
That's right. Fuck Trump.
Show's off the rails.
Fuck Trump. You know what I'm saying? Fuck Trump.
I couldn't help it. I'm sorry, R-Pain. I couldn't help it.
Actually, man, it's cool, man. We hit everything anyway, man. Listen, I can just say, man, listen, man, thanks for coming up. We should get you up on. You should come on up. Get on camera with your. You probably went through a whole bottle of wine already, so. He's ready. He's ready, man.
Anissa be at them parties. She be at them parties trying to get in. This how she be with the security.
That's so wild, fucking shit. That's just wild. That clip is wild as hell.
Anissa, y'all ever seen the movie Knocked Up? Anissa, like the two old white girls that was trying to get in the club that night. My man kept saying, "Not tonight." Not tonight. I can't have two old biddies in the club. Not tonight.
That wasn't funny fun. They were offended like a motherfucker.
You filthy motherfucker.
Speaking of that, did you see there was a black woman? She went viral. She was talking about she was in the club. I want to say it was Miami. She was in club in Miami, and they denied her. They denied her and let her in. She was a bigger girl. They didn't let her in.
Oh, she was a bigger one?
Yeah, she's a bigger. And I was like, nobody told you how it happens in Miami? Nobody told you how it goes down in Miami? Baby, they only want the hottest of the hottest in those clubs. That's it. And if your girlfriend didn't warn you of that, that's your fault. That's your fault. But you are not going into those prominent clubs out there where the section is
built like a janitor's closet.
Yeah, built like a refrigerator. It's not happening.
Yeah. The toes hanging on the top of the shoes, hanging over the top of the shoes.
Not the bear claw. Not the bear claw.
R-Pain, I did want to ask you something serious though. What do you think about these boycotts? I saw that the Black Caucus met with the guys from Target today. Yeah, and they said they were unimpressed with Target's stand on the DEI. What did you think? What do you think about all that? All these we're supposed to be boycotting these. I didn't know. I went to Target today.
I think Target, it should just wait them out, because the truth is
Target loses a lot of money though right now.
Well, they're losing into the profit margin, but they should wait them out. But they're hurting a lot of black businesses as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's where I get irritated. I'm like, how many people, how hard it is to get your stuff on the aisles and the aisles. As if you're a black business and you're trying to get into a Walmart, a Kroger, a Costco, a Sam's Club,
right,
a Target, how difficult. And if you don't believe me, watch Shark Tank. If you watch your show Shark Tank, you'll see these companies and how difficult it is to get in these stores. It's not hard. So I know there's a little girl. She was on it. She was a black. She sold a flaxseed like lemonade. It was supposed to be like diabetes healthy or whatever. I think her lemonade is in the Target. And I'm like, you guys are hurting your own people.
But not only that, Trey, those fucking people, if you black and you're in Target, that shit wasn't DEI. You met their requirements based on merit. They ain't just let you do that shit, right? So if you really think about it, the people, if you were in there, you made it because you made it on merit. That's it. And they're boycotting it because this word DEI. What are they talking about? Nobody gets into Target because they're gonna just give you a penny. You gotta make some. You gotta meet the margins.
Yeah, if you're in a Target or a Walmart or Costco's or Sam's Club, that means you have a great product. You have a really good product, and that's why you're there. That's why you're there, and in order to stay there, your product has to sell. Because if your product doesn't sell, they'll pull you off the shelf. So if you're still there and you've been doing it, I never understand the angles with this whole boycott. Especially if it's going to hurt your people.
It's also by the gay the Congressional Black Caucus, these fucking guys, I didn't even know they were still around doing anything. But the gay pastor who told Cam Newton that he got nice shiny legs and shit, did you see? Did y'all see
No,
that?
he didn't say shiny. He said pretty. He
Yeah,
said, man,
pretty
you got
leg.
pretty leg.
It's nice and oily and shit. You know.
You know what? He go to pastor right here. I got him up here on the thing. Hold on. It's the same pastor right here.
These hoes ain't loyal. You gotta.
Is that him? That's not that. That's not
Joe
Jamal.
Cam, what did he tell
Yeah,
Cam?
his name is Jamal Bryant.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he look different now. Okay.
Yeah, that's him.
Anyway,
Yeah, he is
man.
special. He's a special individual.
But then he just got married too. Boy, that motherfucker wife so fine. Ooh. Jamal Bryant, you can say what you want, but that motherfucker wife is bad. Oh my God.
He's racking in the He's racking in the dough, man. Shit, he just proves that money. It just proves that money makes the difference.
But see, the thing, I can't say that to R-Pain because she got more money than him.
Does she? What is she?
Yes. She's one of those women. She's not an entrepreneur. What's above an entrepreneur?
Wow,
philanthropist or some shit. She up there.
Yeah, philanthropist.
Yeah, she up there. She got that bread.
That means you got so much money, you got to give it away.
Yeah, she got that bread. So I don't think she there for the money because she got more money than he got.
See, that's the move. That's the new move. Because I was just watching a guy. He was talking about clipping. He was talking about why he doesn't date Roy Blaney. And he made perfect sense where he broke this whole thing down. So he makes more. Yeah. That might be the new move is to go find it. If you can find it. They're not all rich things. If you can go find one.
Well, yeah, man, rich women need love too and shit. That's what it is. They need love too. But they say Bezos has one of these ironclad prenups. He got this prenup they say can't be broken. Yeah, we'll see.
Such thing.
Yeah,
no
I know. Right? We'll see when this chick
he might have the platinum version.
Oh, he got
the rest of us. We get the gold and the silver and the bronze version. He might have.
He got the one they made that. They got the one they made that movie out of. Remember that movie that what's that? The actor that everybody hates now. The one who married that. I guess I forgot his name now. The actor that he made this movie about ironclad prenup, and everybody tried to find out what was in it and shit like that. It actually was pretty funny. But anyhow, so what else is going on, man? What else is going on, BMU? So
other than what I told you last week, I called him as soon as I heard it. I said, R-Pain, man, did you hear Michelle Obama said she wish she didn't have a son because she didn't want him to be like his daddy?
That's crazy, man. That is crazy.
I am not an Obama fan. They are destroying that man's legacy.
Yes.
I mean, they're doing every damn thing they can.
His daughter's destroy that name.
Yeah. Not changing. She don't want the name at all.
Yeah.
I said it's a privilege to have the last name Obama. I said this, and let me tell you something, BM. This is what irritates me. This is the difference between other demographics and communities and then ours.
Yes.
I want to get it on my own. No, your daddy is Barack Obama. Use it. See, other communities will tell you, no, use what I built this foundation for you. Use it.
Right.
Take it to the next level. Rothschild, Kennedy. I need to keep going. Use it. Use the platform that we built for you. And then you can take it to the next level. But instead, we got people saying, I don't want people to give me handouts. I don't want people to give me handouts because my last name's Obama. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Trey, I got a question though. Have you heard George Bush Jr. wife on a podcast talking about her husband? Melania Trump talking about Trump Donald on a podcast? It's always got to be us, boy.
Man, Hillary Clinton don't even talk about her, man. And he was fooling around. Everything was moving.
Yep. You don't see the Hillary. You don't see the Clinton podcast, and she's sitting back on the couch talking about, "Oh yes, I hate Bill. I didn't like him at all. He was horrible. He was terrible." No, you don't hear that.
Black woman, man.
This all started when she didn't show up to the Jimmy Carter's
To the funeral.
She didn't show to the funeral, and then she didn't go to the
inauguration.
inauguration.
Right.
And remember, we talked about protocol. Doesn't matter whether you like it or not. Protocol. Just go. Be cordial. Show face. That's something, again, in our community. It's something I learned as a kid. My family taught us that you don't have to always like it, but you're going to go show face because it makes the family look good. Right. We can't have any holes, any chinks in the armor by, oh, well, such and such didn't show up. Well, what's going on over there? But all these other, they are trying to tear this man's legacy apart. And like I said, even if I don't politically agree with him, what he accomplished is important. It's important to the fabric of American society and to the history of American society. And if you're doing everything they can to tear it apart, that's insanity.
It's insanity. And listen, and I think she's trying to get him to divorce her, man. Because she doesn't want to do it and stay in her life. So
she don't want to be in the shadow of her husband where she should be. She wants independence. She wants the big podcast, and she want to talk about how much she started out by saying she wasn't attracted to him, and all the girls used to drool when he come in the office, and she was like, I don't worry about him, and then he ended up begging her for a date, and they went on a date, and she really didn't like him. Then I didn't even want him to run for Senate, and then I didn't even want him to be president. Why did he want to be president? And then she said I was totally against it. And I told him if he ran for president, I was never going to talk to him again. All that shit. And so it tells me that you never supported this man. You didn't give him the support that he needed.
It's fault for marrying a chick that he knew was fucked up. Right? I mean, he had to know she was fucked up, and she's resistant to all your dreams. And why you marry her, man? And it's not like she's the finest fucking chick in the world.
Exactly.
Shit.
She got big old ass. But other than that, she got her face shut on the door while they were making coffee or something. I don't know, but yeah, it's just it's different, man. And everything that she has is because of him. It's not because of your mate name. It's because you're an Obama.
Period.
Which is not a bad place to be.
Nope. This man that bought you a mansion on Martha's Vineyard. Could you have done that if he didn't become who he became? No.
But see, that's the issue, black man. Our women believe that they can do everything without us. The women in other communities believe they can do everything together.
Yeah.
They believe it. She truly believes it. Well, I went to Yale. I could have done this on my own.
But you know what a bigger thing is?
You know what I mean? Like, that's the mindset.
Well, not a bigger thing. Well, another thing is that I'm convinced this presidency and a little bit before. Now I'm starting to really look at liberal women, black women, white women in general. We could never have one of these fucking chicks running the country. Women in general, maybe, but a liberal woman with power is the most dangerous fucking thing in the world. Look how they fucking up Boston, everywhere they Los Angeles, everywhere they are. The way they talk, what they believe in, and the way they fumble the goddamn bag. My list keeps growing. Every time I see a news thing, I just add it to my list with black women who fucked up the bag. And I got a whole playlist of that shit.
You know what, Trey? I remember I told you, Arpain, that I was going to do a panel at the church. I was going to sit in front of the church with the pastor and answer questions and stuff. That was Sunday. This was yesterday.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna chop it up because they sent it to me in the audio. They didn't have something plugged up right. The audio is horrible, so I'm gonna have to bring the audio up a little bit and then I'm gonna share it. But one of the things that I said to the audience is I said, men are suffering in silence. I said men are humiliated. Men are emasculated, and I said men just don't want to deal with it anymore. They're detaching themselves from it. And I said, you know what? By a show of hands in this room right now, how many of you have seen a man drive in his driveway and sit in his truck for an hour? I can't wait till y'all see the video. You're gonna see so many fucking women hands go up. And I said to them, I say, now welcome to our world. That you know why the man does that? He does that because he doesn't want to deal with what's in the house, and he just came from something that he's tired from. He just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, he just want to chill out. Yeah.
But then the pastor, bro, he broke it down, bro. He said there's something called he does psychology and all this stuff for a living, like outside of church. But he says there's something, he said something called the womb syndrome or something, womb. He said the safest place for the man when he was being created was in the womb, where he got all the nutrients, he got the food, he got everything he needed in that spot. He said now, biologically, men are still that way when they come out of the womb. And he said when they're not respected and they're not loved and cared for by their wife and respected in their community, and the kids don't respect them or the people don't respect them, this is why you have men go in caves. He said, case in point, man caves. Men separate themselves from their wives, separate themselves from their children. He said that's the caving, because they feel like that cave is a representation of the womb. Because in that man cave, he's protected, he's safe, everything's where he left it, he can go eat, he can be in peace. Everything ends in that little cocoon in that man cave. And he said it's called that. He said when you see men separate themselves from their family and their wives, and women calling them lazy, he said it's not laziness, it's just you drained him to a point that everything that he wants to do, he doesn't have the energy and the willpower to do it. Man, he broke that shit down. I was just looking at him. I said, you better talk today, boy. Because most pastors ain't gonna finna be honest. They're gonna kiss ass.
No.
He broke I asked him to come on the show tomorrow, but he's in DC today. He had to go to DC today, so he'll be back Thursday. But I'll say, well, next Tuesday, he said,
so that's gonna be the top. Oh, it's okay. So what's the topic for tomorrow?
Tomorrow, I got it wrote down in my pocket.
Yeah, that's all right, man. I mean, it's cool. I mean, we'll figure it out.
But why you getting that? I say this all the time.
If you didn't experience it, get over it. That's tomorrow.
Okay.
I would say this all the time. If you really sat and talked to husbands and got the real deal, where there was no backlash and there was no retaliation, and really got a chance to actually listen to them talk, you will see why I feel the way I feel about marriage. A lot of these guys out here are miserable. They're miserable. And when you talk about that BMU, I know for a fact of the guys that did it because I saw it. I saw guys not wanting to go into their house. It wasn't the kids. Kids gonna be kids. Most times, going home and playing with your kids is the best part of your day. So it wasn't the children. It was her. It was her. You don't want to have to deal with her.
I don't disagree with what y'all said. I mean, when I got married, 4 of us got married in successive months. Mine was in August, like 4 of us. We went to each other's wedding. I'm the only one still married. One marriage lasted just like less than a year. The other 2, one lasted maybe 10 years. All of them got divorced.
But you know what? But I heard, you know what, R-Pain? This is the kind of shit that be pissing me off. See right here? Everybody think a man being emotional has something to do with him being spazzing out or crying. No, sometimes, like I heard a woman say today, man, we got to talk about this lady. It's called a good wife or some podcast. But it's a white lady. And when I tell you she be cooking, she said today, women will be in the car with their husband, and your husband want to play around with you. He wants you to stroke the back of his neck while he's driving. He wants you to have sex with him. Stop withdrawing those things from your man, because when you withdraw those things from your man, he becomes different, and then you don't like what he's becoming, but you're the creator of what he became.
DMU, I am a testament to that. My last relationship, I would go play with her, flirt with her, grab on her, fondle her, I guess you want to call it, whatever, just trying to, spark something. And she would stop. Stop. And so I stopped. I just stopped. And then guess what I got, BMU? Well, you don't really touch me anymore.
That's some funny shit, man. Women are so fucking crazy, man.
And I would say, but when I do, you telling me to stop. But I don't really mean stop. Okay, I'm confused. I'm confused. So I'm a testament to that. I can only imagine if I was married, if that was my wife. What you mean? What you mean stop?
Just so
that's not what I signed up for.
There's so much. It's funny you mentioned that because on the other side of that, right, my wife always had like long flowy hair. No matter what she did, when she made it up, my hands are always in her hair playing with her hair. Not once did she ever tell me to don't mess up my hair. Not once. She just came back from the hairdresser. It's just all nice. My hair's in the back of her head doing all this shit. Not once. Not once. I mean, even as long as she just. But so that's the other side of that. But so now I see what you're saying. I don't know if it was a litmus test or not. I just kind of nervous. She'd never say, don't touch me. Just get away. So that's weird.
I feel bad for these guys that are in these. It's not even so much the sexless marriages. I feel bad for those guys too. But the marriages that don't have any intimacy, that don't have any affection, I think it's a little bit worse. Because you really break it down, you're not having sex all the time, right? Yeah. Like you're not, it's a moment in time that you do it, but the intimacy and affection, that could be every day. All the time. Yeah, that's all the time.
All the time.
You're not even getting mad.
And there's a lot of marriages that are spiritually, they are already spiritually divorced, but they're binded by papers in the real world, right? So spiritually under God, they're already divorced. Spiritually they're broken because you've already broken the covenant of marriage. When you take a covenant, that covenant says, I'm going to be with you, whether you're rich, whether you live in a cardboard box, if you got the flu, or if you're 100% healthy, right? I'm going to be with you. The Bible says, I'm not going to deprive you of sex. Because even God is telling you in the scripture, he says, do not deprive your husband of his sexual desires unless you both agree. And if you both agree, go quickly back to his desires, because if you go quickly back to his desires, he won't be tempted by other women. It says it's in there. It's in there. And I'm like, women don't understand how easy it is for a man to go out. Man, listen, I said this to Felicia on the plug. I said, with that day, Arpan, you was on there too. You don't cut your husband in the gut with a knife. You take a knife and cut your husband in the gut. You slice him in the gut and you push him out the door in the water. When you push him out, when that blood hit the water, the sharks are coming. They're coming. They coming. Don't get mad when they eat him. They coming.
If you should never let your man leave the house with a full clip. That's just not smart. That's just not smart. You never let your man leave the house fully loaded and ready to go.
Yeah, I saw a white woman on TikTok saying, "But man, when he gets up, I drain him. When he's finished eating, I drain him. When he's ready to go out, I drain him. When he comes back, I drain him."
Smart woman.
She was tripping me out.
Bro, my brother-in-law, I'm so happy for my brother because he had some women that was just horrible. But my brother, not my brother-in-law, but my brother and my sister-in-law. We went to dinner and everybody was talking about, yeah, we leave here, we're going to get us some, blah, blah, blah. Everybody, talk with their wives or whatever. And he said, man, here go my brother. He quiet. I say, damn. I say, Meg, you don't give him no ass tonight? She said, I just sucked his dick and swallowed his nut in the car.
No,
she said before we came in here. I said, oh my God. She said, so don't play me. I already ate him up before we came in here. I said,
She said she gave him the appetizer to the meal.
I looked at my brother. He like this.
Yeah, that's the funny shit, man.
Hey, I'm telling you some truth. I dated this Jamaican girl. You couldn't leave that house. Where you going? Oh, I'm gonna go chill with the fellas. 1 second.
Oh, geez.
You wasn't leaving that house, bro. You wasn't leaving that house like that. And I asked her. I said, where you get that from? Like your mama teach you that or something? She said, well, yeah, I got a little bit of it from my mom. So parents were married for a long time. So I got a little bit, but she said, if I don't do it and you going out into these streets with all these other women, she's like, one of them gonna do it. She's like, I can't have you out there fully loaded, locked, and ready to go. That's crazy.
Now, that's what I'm saying. On the flip side, I do have another brother. And my other brother, he been married for 14 years. And his wife has never done that for him.
Damn.
She said it's nasty. And it makes her feel like a slut. It would make her.
Ain't that what marriage is?
But think about this. When he married her, she was a virgin. And she said her mama told her never to do that when she get married.
That's the one person you supposed to be doing it to.
When did he find that out?
I asked him. He said, she ain't never did it. I wasn't tripping about it. But now that we into the marriage real deep, I was trying to, And she was like, no, anything but that.
Oh no.
He said she'll do anything else but that.
Anything.
Anything else but that. He said he done introduced her to a whole bunch of shit.
But she ain't got no logic there. She has no logic. If she's willing to do other things and she ain't willing to do that, her logic don't hold up. She just don't want to do it.
But my sister, bro, I'm telling you, man, my sister-in-law be on her ass. She was like, girl, what's wrong? Ain't nothing wrong with that. You ain't gonna be no sick. When we all be sitting together and we go on trips and shit, they be talking that shit. Especially when they had a couple of them drinks.
Yo,
She said, I love y'all, your brother. I said, I bet you do. She said, I do. I love your brother. She said, I don't know about all that. She said, well, what's for you and your marriage is for you and yours. She said, but me, she said, I got fetishes with my man. She said, I done made fetishes with my man. She said, I love when he fucked me for about 2 or 3 minutes, pull it out, put it in my mouth.
Yeah. What kind of goddamn conversation they having, man? Golly.
Well, I'm sitting there like
they haven't grown talk.
I'm like,
talk.
and then they played. Then they went to the store. All the women left, so they left us on the grill. We grilling. They got back. It was getting dark, and so we was all in the cabin, and they came back with a big old bowl, like a fish bowl, with a lot of paper cut up in it. I said, what the fuck they got going on? So she said, in this bowl, we written out every freaking thing that a woman can do for her husband. She said, y'all have 3 picks each.
Oh,
all 3 husbands got to pick out 3 of the things, and we have to fulfill all 3 no matter what they are. She said we have no boundaries.
Oh,
now,
man.
watch this. Guess what my sister
These women got sisters? These women got sisters?
Oh, yeah. You've seen a picture of one of them, Trey, because I showed it to you in the back before. Yeah. So she said, so after that, I picked my 3. My brother picked this 3. You know, the one that don't do it? She said she happened to pick that one. She said, I'm not participating. I don't want to do this. She said, I'll do these 2, but I'm not doing the 3rd one. I said, I know what that 3rd one is.
That's crazy.
I couldn't imagine being married and having restrictions.
Damn.
Like I feel like that's what the one place I'm supposed to be free. I'm supposed to be free.
Yes. Yeah. Man,
you know what I'm saying? Like I'm supposed to come to you with my deepest, darkest, nastiest fantasies, and you're supposed to be like, "Oh yeah, we could do that."
Yep.
God damn, man. I mean, I don't envy motherfuckers these days. I really don't, man. I swear, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
I seen a girl on TikTok today, black girl. She said when she get home, her husband, she said when he walk out the door after they get through fucking to go to work, she said she be wanting to run after him and slide on his legs and choke on his dick from the back. I said, God damn.
Do you find these women? I don't find these guys.
Well, you know what? I think you gotta get, if you find those women, you gotta take the other side of the thing that they've been out there a little bit. Right? I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's the downside. Ain't no virgins acting like that shit. You know,
you saying Pareto's principle, 80-20. I gotta take the good with the bad, right?
And that's the thing. And I'm not disrespecting my brother's wife, because she's a sweetheart, bro. But at the same time, she is gorgeous. She's pretty, yellow skin, big old lips, bad. And you know, before she got with him, she probably lived a life, boy. She probably lived a life, but she is.
She got a story. She got a story to tell.
Yeah, she got a story, boy. She is pretty, boy. Her mama bad. Woo.
Yeah,
I met her mama. I almost told my wife, "Get your shit, get out." Her mama bad.
I guess what you need to do is find a woman that's reserved but willing.
Yeah,
reserved but willing. You know, that's all that's left these days. I mean, it's not that many of them either. Either they were all too willing, or I don't even know if there's any reserved women out there anymore.
You know what? Yeah. She said her mama taught her.
Yeah, well, maybe that's not true, because my daughters are reserved, man, but they ain't married.
So, I got a question for you.
How you know our pain?
Well, listen, my youngest daughter comes home on a curfew every goddamn day. I know what she's interested in. My older one, she's out there. My older one is out there. She got her own apartment and all that. So I'm trying not to imagine what the fuck she might be doing, man. You know what I'm saying? All I know is she ain't coming. She's still going after the bag.
She said her mama told her is when you get a husband, it's 2 things that you have to keep hot: your pussy and his plate.
I liked it. That's great advice.
Yeah,
I like that advice.
But no, so our pain. Let me ask you the question because I saw this on a
Yeah,
podcast today.
Uh-oh.
So, say for instance, you and your wife go on a nice little getaway, y'all good, right? But then your wife get a call and she have to come back home or whatever, and y'all come back home and you just loading in all the bags, and you happen to walk past the room and you see a dude fucking your daughter. Like you catch your daughter, a dude knee deep in that ass. What are you going to do? This is what they asked the fathers on that panel. What none of them can say. They were speechless. So I'm asking you, what would you do?
Listen, because you know what, I'm speechless because I don't know what I'm gonna do unless that shit happens. Because right now that would be the furthest thing from my mind. Right?
Yeah. You come in here calling somebody else daddy.
Well, yeah. If I come to my house and my daughter's doing all that, man, I'm saying, you know, what else? Well, let me ask you, what is the guy supposed to do? Tell that guy.
And she called him daddy too. He's wearing her out. What you gonna do?
Well, you might offer him thinking that it was a SA situation. You know, she be an SA, boo, boo, boo. You know. So, but no, I don't know what I do other than I know I tell the guy, get your ass up and get the hell out of my house.
And he pulled out that. He pulled that thing out and they just dropped down. Wow.
I'm gonna try not to look. Remember I remember asked Pete that he said he walked in his girl was fucking around. I asked when Pete was mentioning that, Sparta was mentioning that. I said, "Did you look at his?" I said, he caught his girl fucking this guy. He didn't tell you that story. Yeah, we was on the paddle. He caught Pete Sparta.
Oh yeah, he did. He said, Trey. He said the dude was fucking her so hard. He walked in the house. He heard them, but the bad thing about it, Trey, don't fall out your chair. He said his disabled mama was downstairs in the room up under them.
Oh, that's fucked up. That's so fucked up.
So he was up there wearing her out.
And so he told the story, right? And everybody was
so disrespectful. That's so
everybody was quiet for a second.
That's the most disrespectful shit I've heard in my life.
When he got off her, I said, "Did you look at his dick?" That fight cracked up.
What did he say?
He didn't answer the question because he knew he did. He knew he did, man. Come on. Holy shit.
I was just telling my homeboy, listen, you got to pound that rock, sir. Don't be sitting in there and all that soft, that pound that rock. Yeah. See, he BMU, he a sucker for love. So he want to get in there. He want to, right? And so his lady been giving him a lot of attitude lately about like afterwards.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's because she wants you to knock the bottom out of that motherfucker. You in there wanting to.
You want to try to make love.
I told him, I said, no, you need to take it up. You need to take it up a notch. He said, I don't think that's what it is. I said, I promise you, that's what it is. Because they married, right? But I think she want to she want to take it to another level. She want to go to another level, but he don't want to. He want to keep doing, he got the baby face and the Brian McKnight in the back and the candles. Yeah, that worked the first 5, 6, 7 years. That worked, but now she like, nah.
And she think about that, like, damn, I bet he can knock this off. Why you in there doing all this? Trey, let me ask you, Trey. You come home on a trip and your baby girl 16, 17, 18 in there getting plugged up.
Oh, man.
And you passed by the door and she say, Daddy, oh my God, Daddy. What's happening? What's happening?
He can't answer that.
And he pulled out and there's a table leg hit the floor.
God, only you come.
I'm gonna be honest with you, BMU. I don't know what I'm gonna do in that situation.
There you go.
But I will say this. I will tell her. I probably will say, nigga, if you don't roll that motherfucker up and get
out of my house. Get out of my house.
If you don't look, hey, BMU, if you don't roll that motherfucker up and put it back in your pants and get the hell out of my house.
God damn it.
So how you walk around with that thing, man? What is wrong with you?
Now the second question they asked, I hope y'all read it. The second question they said, but all the men was acting just like y'all right now. and I wasn't on the panel, but I was saying to myself, man, I don't know what I would do either. Like it would just be it would be a shock. But they say, would you rather walk in and catch your daughter getting fucked, or would you walk in and would it be worse to walk in and see your son getting fucked by a nigga?
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I take my daughter. I think I can process my daughter a lot different. I seeing my son being a bottom.
Yeah, you walk in and your son looking back at it, throwing it back.
Nah,
You know,
I can't.
you know what I'd be more mad at? You know what you'd be more mad at? That vision that you can't get out of your head. That shit, that shit would make me even more mad. Right? Why y'all subject me to this shit? He over there doing the deliverance song. He squeak like a pig. Hey,
Trey, what would you do though? What would you say? Would you walk in and say, "Get out my house"?
I'm gonna shoot both of them.
You know what? That's real.
ABMU, because you know why? You've just scarred me for life.
For life.
You scarred me for life.
Yeah, you done for life.
I'm done. I'm cooked mentally for life. Every time I see my son from here on out, I'm gonna be that thought. That's gonna hit me in my head. See, my daughter, I can compartmentalize that. Right? She's a young girl. You know, I can compartmentalize it. But my son, I can't. Calling him daddy too.
And looking back at it.
Oh man!
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Just shoot both of them.
I'm gonna go grab the Glock.
Jesus Christ! But they both going though. He's got to get out.
That too. Yeah, that too. Our pain. They both see. My daughter, I wouldn't kick out, but in that particular case, both of y'all get out.
Yeah, you got to both get out.
Help him roll this shit up. Help him fold this shit up, and you get out.
Yeah, both. Yeah,
honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm hoping that I never have to come across the situation because I have a daughter. I hope that I never have to come across that situation. I obviously know she's going to have sex. That's obvious. But at some point, yeah. But I hope that I never am in a situation where I see my daughter in a compromising position. But here's the thing, though. I'm gonna be honest with you. My brain, if I had to see her. If I had to walk in on her and catch her, I would much rather catch her in a sexual position than on her knees and doing the dirt. Because that right there, that would ruin me, BMU. I'd be like, damn. I had your mama the same way.
Right.
Damn.
Especially if you see it, you walk in on it, and as soon as she see you at the corner of her eye, she pull it all the way back out of her mouth like you say, Daddy.
And then she do like this, BMU. She go.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
Oh, she asked you, Daddy, could you pass me a towel, Daddy? Pass me a towel, Daddy, right quick, please.
You know what? I might have to pop her too. She might have to get it, Daddy. Might have to pop her too. Are you ruined at that point? You know what I mean?
Now, Trey, I know what will piss you off if the dude looked at you and said, "Man, I was just about to nut. Man, you fucked my nut up."
I'm gonna let the whole clip go. If he say that, I'm just gonna hold the trigger down. I'm letting the whole clip fly.
Don't you know?
He say something. Yeah. Arpad, if he was like, "Yo, you can't knock." It's my house. What you talking about? I'm letting the whole clip go on him. Are you serious? He better be apologetic and sorry. That's the only thing he can be. I'm sorry. Anything else like that?
Arpad, I can imagine, bro. She pulled that thing out of my mouth, be like, "Daddy, I'm sorry."
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, listen,
you ain't had no compromising with your daughters. That ain't never happened. You ain't never catch your daughters kissing, nothing like that.
No. Listen, my girls didn't have a boyfriend until after they came, until they went to college. Until they were in their whole life before they were 18 and left my house, they had no boyfriend. They were just busy.
Man, my mama caught me in the basement. Shorty was pulling up her thong, putting it back in. My mother came downstairs and she goes, "It fucking stinks down here." She goes, And my mama called all the girls, called every woman a hussy. She called everybody a hussy. And she goes, "Get that hussy out of my fucking house, and then I want to talk to you."
That's
Trey,
funny.
for me, it was the laundry room. So at my mama house, you had to go out the back door, and then right beside it was the storage room where the laundry room was. So, because we have basements in Louisiana, so you come around, go in the laundry room. I had her hemmed up, boy, hemmed up. So I'm in there, I'm done. I'm pulling the condom off. I said, "Damn, I ain't got the nut on me." Shit. My mama opened the door. "So bring me that basket out," and we both standing there like this. She said, "Put your dick up." I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "Monica, I'm gonna call your mama later. Get out, go home." She said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "Go in there and take a bath. You got nut all over you. Go in there and take a bath." Sit in that living room and wait for me. Bruh, she made me wait in that living room for 3 hours. I felt like I was waiting on the HIV test. I was sitting on the couch like this. She said, "How long you been back?" I said, "I don't remember." She said, "Oh, it's been a long time." I said, because I didn't want to tell her about the lady, because I was about 14, 15. I didn't want to tell her about the lady when I was 12 now. That would have messed everything up.
So, hey, BMU, when I had to go, go talk to my mom, I walked her out or whatever. And my mom, when I got back in, she said, "Hey, you got the nerve to kiss that bitch?" She said it just like that. After everything, she said, "You got the nerve to kiss that bitch?" She said, "Sit down." She just started handing me papers, bro. So I'm like, I'm dead serious. She handed me papers. This is a true story. I'm like, they say Pepco at the top. And then the next piece of paper said, she said, "So if you got enough nerve to be fucking in my house, you could pay some of these bills in this house."
Come on.
I said, "Come on, ma. I just, she said, "Oh no, she cute. I understand. I get it. I see where you coming from." She said, "But you grown, right?" She said, "You grown, right?" I said, "It's not like that. Come on." She said, "You grown, right?" She said, "Here you go. Pay that." I just sitting there stupid. Like I was just sitting there like, I don't know what to do. She was like, "Exactly." She's like, if you're not ready to take care of nobody, then you don't need to be doing it. And obviously that didn't stop me. I didn't listen.
Right.
I just learned not to do it in my mama's house.
Exactly. Hey, you can go ahead, Arpan. You got 1 minute, man. I'm sorry. You muted.
Yes, the clock is running, man. So you're going to go out? You
Yeah.
going to end it, or you want me to end it?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. I'll go out, but you say your last thoughts or whatever.
I know, that's good, man. It was a funny segue into this whole conversation, man. Mr. BMU the disruptor. But
I'll bring
anyway,
this question up Friday at the barbershop because I want to hear what you guys got to say.
Yeah, I have too much more to say, man. It was a good thing, man. You know what? This Trump administration doing this thing, man. A lot of people aren't gonna like it, but it's still happening regardless.
Yeah, exactly. All right, man. Much love to you, Trey, man. Good seeing you always, my brother.
Good seeing you as always, brother. Love you, brother. See y'all, man.
I love y'all, man.
Later.